Facebook.com back in the arcade in 1979, the end of 1979. This is Data East's Astro Fighter, released in September of 79 in Japan, and then in the US it was licensed by Sega Gremlin and introduced at a trade show in November of 1979. There was also some video promotion on Sega's part that was distributed to arcade operators, and it's kind of amusing in hindsight. Maybe also amusing at the time, unintentionally. I'll see if I can get the logbot to roll this footage for us.
Gremlin Control, this is Astro Fighter 1. I've defeated the Space Master.
Congratulations, Astro Fighter 1. Please refuel for continuation of mission. Over.
Astro Fighter 1, refueled and ready.
Thank you for that morsel from the archive, the logbot. Well, that was a thing. You want me to go where and wear what and say what? This is a riff, basically, on Space Invaders and Galaxian in that order. If you were going to kind of break down the DNA of inspiration, shall we say, about 75% Space Invaders, 25% Galaxian, but also kind of its own beast, so it was a bit of a minor hit when it was freshly introduced in the US, so you have to lend it some credibility there, regardless of what you thought of the video spot that Sega Gremlin sent to arcade operators. That may have been a trade show tape. I'm not entirely sure on the history of that, but things nobody ever expected to be doing, wearing Star Trek TOS cosplay. Let's play the game before I get myself in trouble here. All right, player one, game start. Here they come. Inexorably. And now, you notice I suddenly increased my altitude, so it will not take the next wave as long to reach me. So kind of subtly increasing the threat there. Okay, second wave. Alright, I have increased altitude again, so it's... Ooh, a little harder each time. Sounds a lot like Space Invaders, but I suppose at the time there were only so many options for generating sound effects in an arcade game. Let's try that again. Okay. Next. So there's some advantage to wiping out the whole wave. which I just failed to do. Also, notice at the top you have a bit of a gas gauge going on. So you can't dawdle. Some little TIE Fighter inspired guys. So obviously not only we're not just taking inspiration from Star Trek. That was quite a cluster of them there. Uh-oh. Well, I need to refuel like she did. What's the secret, lady? I should have watched the whole tape. Oh, oh, I'm starting out with a fuel shortage again? Oh, fuel runs out, game over. Well, what was happening there? I guess you have to get past the mothership. I did not defeat the Space Master. Of course, I also couldn't wear a Star Trek uniform. It looks that good, so shows you what I know. Obviously, she had her stuff together. I did not. Well, we had one get away, and it brought back reinforcements. I could see where this had some hit potential. If you wanted something that challenged veteran Space Invaders players, but it didn't challenge them as much as, say, Galaxian would have. Oh no. I wonder if the fuel gauge goes down for firing. Whether you hit something with that shot or not. I guess I'll never know. It's like trying to figure out how many licks to the center of a Tootsie Pop. Okay, one more attempt at this. It's kind of fun. I'm not always in a mood for variations on a theme of Space Invaders, but I am kind of liking this. Oh. Oh, you can intercept incoming fire. Interesting. Yep. Great. Here comes more. Well, obviously, defeating the Space Master is not within my skill set. So there you have Astro Fighter from Data East, 1979, imported to the US by Sega Gremlin. Not a bad little game, not necessarily my cup of tea, but I can see where this would have had a great deal of appeal just a year after Space Invaders hit our shores.